Welcome back. It's Thursday night, our standing appointment with Stephen Carlton, First Vice President Janney Montgomery Scott.
Thanks, David.
Thank you for joining us as always. It's a hot and steamy day out there.
It is. It's getting unbelievably hot.
It is. It's crazy how we go in a week we go from snow to temperatures in the 90s. Something that's crazy like the weather is the markets.
Yes, it has been.
You know, we're at this mid-year point at the markets. Time to take a little stock, as you said, your pun in the stock market.
Yeah, you know, the big thing everybody's talking about is quantitative easing. If the market gets better, it's bad news because then the Fed isn't going to do quantitative easing. But if the market gets worse, well, that's good news because the Fed is going to keep doing quantitative easing. And so it's this quandary that we're in back and forth with the Fed. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is Dow's up about 17% year to date. Numbers have gotten a lot better. Some would say that the earnings haven't kept pace with things, and that's probably the big concern a lot of us have, looking at your IRAs, your 401ks, those kinds of things. Now's a good time to take a stock before the summer season and say, you know, are things getting a little ahead of themselves?
What we see as we go into the summer months, you know, stockbrokers heading to the Hamptons on a Friday to enjoy the spoils of their winnings, I guess, on the market. Will we see things just quieten down over the next couple of months, or are we still looking for a pretty turbulent period?
Historically, the stock market, typically the volume dies down in summertime because, like you said, a lot of us are away on vacation. But I think with what's going on in Europe and what's going on in Asia and Japan, like you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of uncertainty. And when you look at mortgage rates, remember we were talking about the time to refinance a couple weeks ago. If you're going to do it, now's the time. Interest rates have shot up the most in a year's time, and that time is running out to do that. So this summer months, the next couple of months, is going to be critical to make some of those changes.
You know, I can't wait to head out to the Hamptons with you and hang out with some of your banker friends.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a good time. I've already got my board shorts ready to go.
And I've got the sunscreen.
We'll need it. And the reason for that, bankers making big bucks. First quarter of the year, $40.3 billion in profits. What's going on? We went from, you know, banks hemorrhaging money to turning around, and we're making these massive profits right now.
Dave, you just hit the nail on the head when you said we've gone from a period of time the last couple of years where banks were losing money, they're hemorrhaging money. And really, it's not that the banks are making so much more money, it's the fact that all the bad debt that they had over the last 3-4 years has kind of gotten dealt with.
Okay.
And so the losses are not nearly as high as they were the last 3-4 years. So that's the big story. But the thing that everybody's concerned about is the fact that the banks aren't lending to small business owners, to consumers. You know, that's a big concern, because if banks aren't lending the money to the economy, then the economy is not going to grow quite as strong. Now, we had good numbers. We had GDP numbers first quarter that came in about 2.4, which is solid. But we need to see that keep going higher.
Well, why aren't the banks lending money? What's the fear here?
You know, I talk to a lot of people in the community, and the big concern is a lot of first-time home buyers may not have the 20% down to put buying a house. They may not have a high enough credit score to do that, and banks are becoming much more particular about who they lend money to. Same thing with small business owners. They're less likely to expand because of healthcare costs, because of higher taxes, the sequester, all these different headwinds that are making small businesses less bold to go and borrow money and expand.
Well, boldness is not a problem for Global Foundries in Malta. No. Of course, the massive chip fab plant there. They are spending $2 million per day on construction costs. Of course, they're building their $2.1 billion research and development facility. That's a staggering amount of money to be shelling out on construction each day.
This has got to be one of the biggest building projects in the U.S. right now. Massive development. I mean, everything that's going on over there is unbelievable, but it's great news for upstate New York. You know, we've been following and tracking this on a regular basis, but it's full steam ahead. The production, the building, everything's going on there, and it's exciting to watch it.
You know, I was reading on one of the business websites here in the Albany area, bizjournals.com, Mazzone Hospitality, who are the official catering company for Global Foundries, they have had to buy bigger food trucks to cater to all these construction workers that are working on that site. I mean, so the trickle-down effect to, you know, Mazzone and other companies is going to be great for our area.
A lot of small business owners just in the Saratoga, Glens Falls area that I know that I've talked to said this has been a huge boon for them. In the last year and a half or so, they've been so busy trying to take care of this demand. So this is good news.
You know, when I told you about this story today, you have been following it, but your reaction to me was, this is huge. We're talking about the governor's plan for tax-free New York. It's an initiative that would transform SUNY campuses into kind of incubators for business. So what the governor's proposing is tax-free communities that would attract startups, venture capital, new business, and investment from around the world, making all the SUNY campuses into these tax-free zones. Brian Stratton, who is the director of the Canal Corporation, coming to SUNY Adirondack in Queensbury tomorrow to tout that, as the governor's been doing. He dispatches his troops to sell the legislation. But this could be really big for not only SUNY, but for our economy.
Well, you know, one of the headwinds, everybody kind of knows there's two states that stick out for high taxes, California and New York. And so over the last 20, 30 years, if you're going to start a business, if you're going to try to do a startup, it's been difficult to overcome that. And one of the things you got to give a lot of credit for with Cuomo is being very strategic and very having a vision on how to try to stimulate those kinds of things. So this incubator program could be huge. Look at the benefits for Global Foundry and all the tech development that's happened in the last couple of years. They've got full steam ahead on that as well, and it's going to be good to watch.
You know, as you say, one thing we're known for is high taxes. We're also known for our great higher education, state higher education system, SUNY, and we've seen that with the College of Nanoscience in Albany, that it can really be a success. The president visiting that place multiple times in Albany.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility.
You know, a little lighter news.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to pass over the story because we only have about 30 seconds, but Bon Jovi is coming. We said earlier Bon Jovi is coming to SPAC this summer. In Spain, Bon Jovi is cutting them a bit of a break because of the financial crisis.
Yes.
They're waiving their performance fee for a concert in Madrid. They're also slashing their tickets to half the price they would be so that folks who are struggling in Spain can go see a little Bon Jovi, a little New Jersey rock.
Wouldn't that be cool? I think it's a great gesture on his part. And my sister saw him in Toronto 2 weeks ago, said it's fabulous. So
fabulous. She probably paid a lot more for her ticket in Toronto than they are in Spain, though.
Yes, and Saratoga's concert's coming up, and we're going to help subsidize that, I'm sure.
I think well, you know, they're saying that the tickets for the concert in Madrid, 18 euros, $23, or 39 euros. Between 18 and 39 euros, so about 23 bucks. Yep. That's roughly half the price of a normal ticket. So $23 to see them in Madrid. Tickets start in Saratoga at 35 bucks.
Yeah,
for the lawn.
And the good seats are probably 200.
The good seats are 175.
I was close.
For your front row. But you know, I know some Bon Jovi fans, and I think they'd probably pay double that to see.
Absolutely, it's a great concert.
John Bon Jovi and his New Jersey rock.
That's right. Thanks, David.
Do we have tickets for that yet?
No, maybe someone will mail us some tickets.
Since they are your favorite band.
Yeah, well, it's got to be up there.
Right.
Got to be up there.
Stephen Crown.
Thanks, David.
Doesn't have much taste in music, but he knows his finance. Of course, as always, head to our website. It's looktvonline.com. That's where we always post our segments. Right there.